Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Ailey if you're new. Today's video is about problem or troublesome skin. So as you've probably seen by the title, this is going to be more focused on people with eczema, people with psoriasis, people with really dry skin, like where you don't have this really silky smooth canvas to put your foundation on top of, like all the big YouTubers where they have this beautiful kind of silk canvas to lay their foundation on, so of course it's going to look amazing. It is a little bit more tricky than that usually if you've got a little bit of texture. This should work for like acne prone skin and stuff like that as well, if it's more on the dry side. I know that probably doesn't make any sense, but if you're on like treatments for your acne and stuff like that, it can actually leave you dry. So these tips should hopefully work for that as well. So without further ado, obviously you can see I have a couple of patches of really dry skin, and it's just very, I wouldn't like to say mild, but it is sort of mild psoriasis, and basically it leaves a texturized feeling. It's sort of like when you get a sunburn and it dries out. That's the kind of texture it is. I mean, there's not, generally using a lot of these things that I'm going to do, I actually look after it that way and it doesn't get flaky or anything like that, but there's still this texture there. So these tips sort of help combat all that and help cover it up. So the first thing that I'm going to say is, obviously, as with all foundation applications, it's going to start with prep. Everything starts with prep, what you're using on your skin. So obviously your moisturizer and your serums and stuff like that. Right now I'm using the Revolution Hydration Boost just because I like the texture of this moisturizer. It's sort of like a water cream. See how it just sort of disappears? It turns it into just like a water sort of consistency. And I don't really like the feeling of like a heavy cream. I know a lot of people do because it feels really moisturizing, but I don't like the feeling on my skin. I like it to sort of almost disappear away in nothing. The only time I like to have something sitting or feeling like it's sitting on my face is when I'm wearing a mask or anything like that. I do use the Niacinamide and Retinol serum from CureX Labs. If you haven't seen my video on this stuff, and you have problematic skin such as breakouts and stuff, not so much dry skin but breakouts and stuff, I'll link my video up here. This stuff is really good and it made such a difference in my skin. I'm actually running out of my second bottle and I need to get another one, but this stuff is awesome. I'm not going to do it just now just because I've done it already today and I don't need to redo it. So that's sort of like my prep work. Now if you've got problematic skin like eczema, like psoriasis, anything like that, it doesn't have to be on your face. I would say look at this company because I've never ever used anything, especially like those stuff from the doctor gives you. I've never used anything that works like this, and this is Mugu. Now creams and stuff like that, I don't know what it's like in different countries, but in Scotland anyway, the creams and stuff like that they give you are more steroids type creams, and they burn the living shit out of your skin, and I hate that. I just think why? It's irritated skin anyway, why am I doing that to my body? And it goes literally like a burn, like a chemical burn. This stuff is absolutely amazing. This is the MSM Soothing MSM cream. It's Mugu is the brand, and you get Irritable Skin Balm, which is the other one that I've got a bigger tub of that, and I get the MSM cream as well. So it's for irritated skin, it's all natural, and yeah, I will leave these guys linked down below. I've gotten a few people to try this for like psoriasis and eczema and stuff like that, and everybody says the same, they are brilliant. So I always just apply just to where I need it. And you can obviously do this however many times a day that you want. I normally cake it on at night. For like prepping for makeup in specific, I don't think it matters too much what foundation you use. And I know a lot of people will disagree with that because a lot of people are like, oh, this doesn't work for dry skin and that doesn't work for dry skin. Well, you can kind of make it work. I mean, I made the Morphe foundation look good over the top of my really dry skin, and people with like perfect skin hated that foundation. So because my skin is dry in general, I tend to try and use like an oil-based moisturizer primer. So I've got, these two are like my favourites just now. I've got the Revolution Prime Oil and the Infallible Magic Essence Drops from L'Oreal. I like both of these. This gives you a little bit more, it's got like a sort of blue shimmer in it, so it gives you sort of like that glowy look, and this is just straight up oil. I absolutely love this stuff. Got jojoba and chamomile oil in it, and this stuff is amazing. It smells beautiful too. Do you know, I think we might actually use this today because I haven't used it in a wee while. So I will just pop out a few drops on my hand and rub it between my hands, sort of pat and press it in. I try not to like pull up my skin too much, but sometimes it happens. I love like anything moisture, anything moisturizing. I'm just like, spit it on my face. I'll let that sink in a little bit. Like, I won't immediately go in with my foundation now. I will let it sink in a little bit. The next thing is Beauty Blender or a beauty sponge, whatever brand that you like. I hear that Wet n Wild's got a good one, Primark do a good one. This is a Morphe one, which I absolutely adore. There's the Real Techniques one. I think there's so many more affordable versions now. I think that Beauty Blender really have to up their game or drop their prices. I figure just for a matter of interest, what I'll do is I will do one type of foundation on this side and one type of foundation on this side. Just to kind of give you an idea that different foundation textures don't matter. So I'm going to do the Conceal and Define by Revolution on this side, and I'm going to do the Foundation Drops by Revolution Pro on this side, because these are completely different consistency than these. This is a much thicker, much more full coverage, and these, though full coverage, they are a lot liquidier in consistency, as you can probably tell by the drops aspect of it. So it's just to kind of give an idea of two different looks. Like, it doesn't matter what your skin's like, the foundation's still, as long as you put in a really good prep, the foundation's still going to look good over the top. I never ever try, or I try not to go like underneath my eyes. Like, I sometimes get it a little bit when I'm doing my nose, but I try, because I've got dry skin, I try not to put like foundation under my eyes and then concealer on top, because you're adding more product and it's just, it ends in disaster that way, and it always ends up looking cakey. So that's one side. So I'm just going to go straight on and do the other side, and then I'll zoom you in and let you have a look at sort of what they look like. These might be two slightly different colours, so let's just ignore that. That was a bit stupid. I should have picked up my F7. Yeah, F5 and F7. Oops, never mind. So this is just one layer of foundation, and I hope that you can see that. I'll adjust the settings and that all when I'm editing this, just so that you can see like the actual texture of my skin and stuff like that. But you can see like it's not full coverage. This side is the foundation drops coverage, and it gives a really nice luminous sort of finish. Even if I build it up a little bit, it still looks really nice and natural. Now you can see that there's a glow on this side too. Not as much as on this side, but there is. So this would be my sort of going out heavier foundation side. This would be my sort of everyday foundation side. And I might actually just build it up a little bit more to match the other side. Now, I haven't used like a pore filling primer or anything like that, because that's not really what this video is about. Usually I'll put like a little, this foundation isn't bad anyway, but usually I'll put like a little bit in here and here. But as you can see, it leaves a really nice sort of luminous finish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in. Now you can see the redness underneath, but you can't, you know, there's no real texture there. Does that make any sense? Like, it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb, and I usually put like a little bit of concealer over it as well. So I'm going to grab my concealer and I'm going to do that over, and you can see it still doesn't come up with a massive amount of texture. Focus. Thank you. Obviously when you're setting it, you need to be a little bit more careful over what you're doing, because if you rub over the top of it or anything like that, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare. Like I say, less is more with dry skin. If you're struggling with like really heavy cakey looking foundation, I would say try a higher coverage but lighter consistency foundation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go away, I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back to let you see what it looks like sort of with all of my makeup done. And yeah, you can see sort of the finished look. Okay, so the rest of my makeup is done. I got actually got ID. And I suppose I'll zoom you back in, but as you can see, it's pretty well disguised. I mean, if you are out in, like, I'm in really harsh lighting right now, so if it was going to show up, it would show up now. I will zoom you in and let you get a kind of closer look. Hello. But you can see it's pretty well disguised. I mean, if you're right up close looking at it, being really nitpicky, then yeah, you can probably still see it. But it's a combination of all the things that we did. I'm going to zoom you back out because you can only see like half my face. So it's a combination of all the things that we did, but I would say like your main things is all your prep beforehand. Don't get hung up on like because I hear this all the time. It's like, what foundation's really good for this? What foundation's really good for that? None of them are. It's, how do I say this? A foundation that works really well for an oily person may not work for somebody who's dry, but it might. There's no hard and fast rules. Just because something works really well on somebody's dry skin doesn't mean that it's going to work really well on your dry skin. I'd say it's more about the techniques, about how you're looking after your skin, what you're using to apply stuff, what you're using to prep your skin beforehand. If you're using, say, like a setting spray, you know, like I used this. This isn't actually the Photo Focus, or what's it called? The primer water. This is actually the Tarte setting spray. I can't remember what it's called, the Rainforest of the Sea one, but I like a really hydrating setting spray as well. And then through the day, if I find that it is looking like it's getting a little bit dry, just give it another spray. I struggled with foundation application for such a long time, and all I did was like try a different foundation, try a different foundation, try a different foundation. So I had like a million different foundations that cost me an absolute fortune, and none of them ever really worked well. And now I can make the most expensive foundation I've got and the most least expensive, the most affordable foundation that I've got, both have the same exact results. Now, I do like my more expensive foundations as well, but if I can get a foundation for £9, I'm pretty sure it's £9 or £7, and make it look as good as my foundation that costs like 50 odd quid, why wouldn't I do that? These may, I would say, not quite have the longevity. They don't have, like, this has got like skincare and stuff like that, and it feels a wee bit more luxurious. It's maybe, you know, like I'm still having to like do loads of extra steps to make this look really good. Born This Way, I'd say, is the one very, very good exception. It just absolutely looks beautiful, and it's minimal effort, and I can sort of throw it on. I very like this. This is very, very forgiving. If you have problematic skin that is on the drier side, or you've got eczema or stuff like that on your face or whatever, or even on parts of your body that you want to cover up, give this a try. It's the Revolution Pro Foundation Drops. I'll leave links to everything that I've mentioned and everything that's on my face in the description box below for you, with links to where you can go and find them. Some of them are affiliate links, which means I earn like 1% of every sale or something like that. So you don't have to use it, but obviously it's there if you need it, because it's nice and convenient for you. But yeah, if you get any more questions or anything like that, even about like other products that I use to treat my skin and stuff like that, then let me know in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer you. Like I said, I'll leave a link to Mugu, which is, I call it the miracle cream. I love this stuff. If you want a full video on this, let me know. I'll go through like all the ones that I like and what they're good for and how I use them and stuff like that. Then let me know. I can always do that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed this video or you found it helpful, I would obviously love if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post videos 3 times a week, usually Monday, Wednesday and Friday, but not always, because sometimes I get busy. But yeah, hopefully I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.